Coming to you live from Reunion Tower, King David Reeves and the Mentor Connector podcast present another mentor moment. Great day, great mentors. Rise and shine. It's time to grind. Welcome to another powerful episode of the Mentor Connector podcast, powered by Firebrand Media. I'm coming to you live out of Reunion Tower. And my brother and friend here today is definitely amongst those who not only is a heavy hitter himself, but is a connector of the playmakers, the other heavy hitters in the city, man. He's a banker, right, with VISTA Bank. You may know him from his work as Director of Community Development and Outreach, right? But he's also in real estate, man. He's in real estate with Builtin Realty Group. He's director of that, as well as an entrepreneur with his own. He has a fitness and consulting company, right, y'all? Like if he isn't already doing enough, if he isn't already impressive enough, right? This guy also he co-founded a nonprofit called Camp Exposure. You might be familiar with the work they've done out here with a lot of pro athletes, both current and former, as well as the event they held at AT&T Stadium, which was huge. Man, he's a community leader. I truly see him as a servant leader because that's what he does before anything else. He's also a keynote speaker, so you can book this brother as well. I know once you hear him, you're gonna want to. So that's part of what's gonna happen, right? And let's not forget, we're up here celebrating the biggest wins in the city at Reunion Tower. So this brother has gotten the Community Champion Award to him by the Dallas Business Journal, right? He's also a board member of the Dallas Black Chamber of Commerce, as well as a board member of the Deck Network. But without further ado, man, y'all welcome to the show, my brother and friend, powerful family man. Much respect to him, much love. Lubbock Smith the third, ladies and gentlemen, the third. You got to put that 3 on you. Y'all welcome to the show, man.
Appreciate you.
My pleasure and honor, brother.
It is an honor and a privilege to be on this the show with you today, brother.
Man, same here. That's how I feel, man. I want to make sure we highlight you the right way, man, because the people need to know.
Absolutely.
And you're doing great work out here, man.
Thank you, man.
I don't know why.
You as well. You inspire me too, brother. So it goes both ways.
Hey, man, most definitely, brother. And that's what it's supposed to do, man. Yeah. Good bros. That's what we do.
Good bros.
Omega men, ladies and gentlemen.
The bros, the good ones.
The good ones, not the other ones. But is it the waves, man? Is that what all this comes from? Does that success stem from the waves? Is that the tidal waves?
Yeah.
The drip, the glow. Is that what it's from?
I would say a lot of it stems from my upbringing, where I come from. I think a lot of times when people talk about titles and opportunities, those things are great. But for me, it's a matter of how do you operate in the gifts and the talents that God has given you. The word says that your gifts will make room for you.
Yeah.
But it also say that it'll bring for great men and great women, right? So for me, being able to utilize those gifts and talents and making the most of it, reaching your full potential, that's what I'm doing. And if you can do that and become transformational, you'll create the transformation that you want to see, not only in others, but in everything around you. So I think that's where the wave and where the synergy and now the great things is coming from me right now.
Not only catching the waves, not only have them up here.
Got the waves too, Come
on, man.
I mean, honestly,
so you're saying you be the change that you want to see in the world.
Be the change you want to see, but it's all God given.
Facts.
I would not be where I am today and have the opportunities that's coming before me if it wasn't for God and partnering with Him and allowing Him just to operate and flow through me. Because a lot of time people put on the front like they know what they're doing.
Yeah,
I'm figuring this out one day at a time, and I'm just using the gifts and the talents that God has given me, but also the great people He's bringing around me, like yourself. And I think that's what's truly allowing me to be successful and help other people do the same thing as well.
Facts. Definitely have to agree with that, man. And I like how you said partnering with God. Mm-hmm. It might be a foreign concept to a lot of people.
He's running things, but he also wants you to partner with him because
quit trying to do it on your own.
Exactly. It's no different than marriage. And I'm grateful to have a great wife that I've been married. Yeah. Diana Fuentes Smith. We've been married since 2014. So we're going on about 9 years now. And we met back in 2008 when I first went to the University of Kansas to play football. Met her in the club, and the moment I seen her, I was like, I got to have her. So I took my shot. She shot me down, but you got shot down on the initial. Shot me down, but I'm persistent. I got perseverance in me, and so she said, "Find me later again." And I found her, and I was like, "What's up?" And we've been going steady ever since.
Wow! But you met her in your football days.
I met her in the pre-Jesus days. So before, I was walking with the Lord and doing what I'm doing now. I was bad.
Yeah,
but
thankfully,
like
my wife and I.
Thankfully, she was true and real to who she was, and She's shown me what loyalty and faithfulness really looks like, and now we're both walking this thing out the right way together.
As it should be, man.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. And I don't even want to go off in that story because I know my wife and I share.
Yeah.
And we've shared with you and your wife.
Right.
Similar
Love
story.
y'all family, man.
Man,
Yeah.
same, brother, same. But that was football, pre-Jesus, and the bruhs.
Yes.
So that's,
Some
that's
complexities.
another. That's
Some complexities for
definitely
sure.
some patience and purpose. She earned that role.
Oh, absolutely.
So
And I did,
beautiful, man.
and I did too. So we're both ways.
That's how it should be, man. So then you basically have accomplished all this, and what you did last year with VISTA, and in the first year working with them, right?
Yeah.
Director of Community Development and Outreach. Like you really embodied that. You've done that, and it's impressive. It's got to be unprecedented as well.
Yeah.
But it didn't start there. So I don't want any young people looking at you or
Right.
any people from
Thinking I had it all figured out.
Yeah,
or
it's just Lubbock always been. Now he had all these connections, and he been rolling in whatever, whether it's the cloud, it's the dough, it's whatever they want to say. You've been rolling in, like he been had the
blessings.
waves. Like
Yeah.
you just the blessing just always been.
Yeah.
Tell us where it all started, because
Yeah.
on this journey, I know it couldn't have been easy.
No, that's a great question. It's all started back in Oak Cliff. Grew up in Hampton Terrace apartments. My mom and my dad. He actually went to prison when I was 9, 10 years old. So
Oh, wow.
I was pretty much
Like halfway
raised.
to-
Yeah, I was pretty much raised by my mom and my 2 older sisters. I'm the
Man.
baby. I'm the youngest. But when that happened, my mom, I never forget. She told me, "You're the man of the house." And so for me, I don't know what the heck that means. I don't know what man of the house
Oh,
looks
man.
like, but I just know I got to make something happen. I got to provide. I
change.
got to put food on the table. I have to make sure that
up.
our family is taken care of.
Yeah.
And so from that point on, I actually quit playing football. Football was at a young age kind of like my way of being successful in life. And I never
So
forget.
why'd you quit then?
I quit because it was my way of being close to my dad. It was something that he saw me like, you can throw, you can catch, you can run, you're fast. It was like, you're going to be a football player.
Wow.
You're really good at all sports. But football was kind of like my niche, right? And so what ended up happening was I quit playing football for the Oak Cliff Jets. My Little League
Shout out to
football
Jets,
coach,
man.
Willie Weeks, who's actually, I call him Pops to this day. He's literally, I call him my father.
Hey, man,
And
shout
so,
out to the Jets and the Redskins, man. Y'all
Man,
know
I'm talking about the Redskins
I know it's
now,
your
yeah.
route, man. Shout out Coach Castleberry, Bobby Castleberry, man.
And so
Still doing his thing.
He was looking for me at practice one day and was like, "Where's Lubbock? I can't find him."
Dang.
And so everybody was like, he quit. And so for
Dang.
2 weeks, he was looking for me. And so he finally found us because we moved into a new house. And when he knocked on the door, found us, he was telling my mom, like, "Hey, your son has been really gifted and talented in the sport. He can't quit. God is going to take him very far in it." I never forget, to this day, he looked me in my eyes and said, "Son, if you stick with this sport and you just listen to me, I'm going to be a mentor. I'm going to be like a father
now.
to you. I can't replace your father.
No.
I'm going to be like a father to you.
Sure.
And you're going to do great
Mentor.
things in life through the sport, and God is going to help you get very far in life."
He told you that?
Yeah.
And you were what,
I
like
was
4th or 5th
9,
grade?
10th grade, about 3rd grade or something like that. And I never forget that moment because it was the last time I quit anything in life. And now he's
proud.
my father. I look up, greatly to him. And it's helped me become who I am today,
Beautiful,
And
man.
since that point on, played football at the University of Kansas.
And just to ask, and you don't have to disclose if you don't feel comfortable, but
Yeah.
with your biological father.
Yeah, my biological father
went.
he's living in the country here in Texas, and we're cordial. It's not like we have any animosity or anything like that.
But he got out once you were already grown.
When you have situations like that happen, it kind of severs the relationship.
Oh, yeah.
So for me, my godfather, Willie Weeks, stepping in and fulfilling that role, we have a close relationship. This is kind of how things unfolded. However, my dad did the best that he could,
Right.
and now I have the responsibility and obligation of furthering what he wasn't able to accomplish in my own life. So I think that's where I am. And so going back to the whole sports and athletics thing in terms of how it led to where I am today. I played football at Carter High School. I ended up, getting a full ride my junior year. Yeah,
David W.
the David W. Carter High School.
Yeah.
Home of the champions.
Cowboys.
Yes. And so I ended up getting a full ride my junior year because my best friend.
Full ride in your junior year.
Full ride my junior year because my best friend, Jeremiah Hatch, got offered to the University of Kansas his senior year.
Wow.
And so, Hatch from, being a bruz as well as the president of a real estate company and things of that nature, we've been walking with each other doing life for a minute. So huge shout out. And
Wait, so I know he was president of your
he's president of yeah. So you can kind of see how relationships
come on, man.
and things that go in my life. So
yeah, y'all pay attention to your relationship. He gonna connect the dots for you. But you gotta be ready. catch them.
Exactly. And so when I got my full ride, I went to the University of Kansas and was doing great things on and off the field. And I was a 3-year starter for KU with 3 different – actually, I was a 4-year starter with 3 different head coaches. And so, we had Mark Mangino, Turner Gill, and Charlie Weiss. And so we had lots of highs and we had lots of lows. And so I ended up tearing my entire left knee, my MCL, PCL, meniscus, and ACL the last game of my senior year.
Good Lord.
And so when that happened, I'm like, the heck is next? Like
you made it all the way through. I've
been playing this sport since I was 6 years old. Yeah. My godfather told me I was going to go far through the sport, but I guess that's how far as it went.
Yeah, but you had to be thinking NFL, at least, especially to make it all the way through your senior year.
When you're told that you're the man of the house and you want to provide for your family, take care of your mom and your 2 older sisters.
Nothing less.
I mean, what other way to get the bag and make things happen than through sport that plays very, very lucratively, right?
Yeah, and that's what a lot of our young men, boys get told and they get put on that trajectory, and it's like if a lot of the injuries will take them out. And some of them aren't as fortunate to make it all the way through college. So I got a lot of homies at high school.
Yep.
And they get taken out. Then and you see that the depression set in.
Exactly.
That's why suicide.
They don't know their identity. And so for me, I knew my identity when I was young. My mom told me that God is going to do great things through you because you've been called, you've been ordained, you've been anointed.
Wow.
And so for me, I already had a relationship with the Lord. Granted, was I living for him yet? I wouldn't say that I was living for him. Not quite. Not yet. But it was the foundation.
Like you made Jesus walk.
We ain't going to say we ain't going to go on that.
It took a while.
It took a while, but thankfully, just having that foundation, that upbringing, from my mom, who instilled all the things in me of humility and serving the Lord and, being honorable and respectful, those things have helped me become who I am today and got me to where I am. So that's pretty much my upbringing. And, when that injury occurred, thankfully, I knew that I was more than an athlete. But I didn't know what was next. I didn't know what was the next best thing that God had set up for me.
Right.
I didn't want a plan B. I didn't want to fall back on anything, but I wanted to have the next best thing happen for my life. And so I met with the athletic director for the University of Kansas. He was just like, what's your aspirations? What are you looking to do? I was like, hopefully I can sit in your seat one day. And so ended up,
straight up,
got some opportunities and did some things with athletics that led to them creating a position for me in tickets and sales, fundraising and development, marketing, student athlete development, academic advisor for the football team. And what's unique about that, I actually prayed to get the academic advisor role. I just didn't know that it was going to go through that way in terms of how God will unfold those things. And they paid for my master's program.
Good Lord.
When that happened, it just exposed me to understanding, through mentorship, which allowed me to get the opportunity and just been connected to these different opportunities. It let me understand how pivotal this was for me in that I can do something great for myself, or I can do something greater and help put others on to how to actually take full advantage and leverage college sports and athletics and higher education so that way you can set yourself up for success.
So you literally, you're saying that's how you got on this path. But I looked at your LinkedIn bio, brother, and this has to be one of the most in-depth. So I was like, man, what I got to highlight this brother in the right light so people know how powerful he is and how humble he is at the same time. But the real work you've been doing. But this is one of those examples because you just skipped through your college career onto something that's very important, right, the next level. But you ain't talking about nothing with interning to U.S. Department of Education. That's kind of a big deal. And not to mention Special Investigations Agency. Like, that's not just something you sleep on.
That actually came from a mentorship as well.
Come on, man. Our mentor. All right, I'm trying to tell you.
I'm drop that a little bit. So it came from a relationship that I had with a guy on my mom's job. I can't think of his name right now, but he's actually the bros. And when I crossed, it was like, hey, if you ever need an opportunity or anything, let me know.
Wow.
And so I was majoring in sociology, which I got my bachelor's, my undergrad in. And I was like, I'm really interested in criminal justice. And so I was like, y'all have any type of internship, paid or unpaid? I don't care. I just want to set myself up
don't miss that.
Yeah.
Y'all young folk out there trying to intern, paid or unpaid. It's about the experience or the opportunity that may lead to because you got the network.
There's ways of getting paid without getting paid. Shout out to my guy Will Baggett for that line. And
Shout out Will.
Yeah.
Speaking around the world, closing deals, getting paid to speak professionally.
Exactly. So I understood early, there's ways of getting paid without getting paid. And I just needed the experience. I needed the knowledge. And honestly, I needed to know, is this really what I want to do? And so I was able to see and understand. I did subpoenas. I did all kind of different things, through the experience. It was great, but I was like, I don't think this is exactly what I want to do right now once I graduate.
Even though it sounded important.
It made great money, but it's not always about how much you make. It's not always about the lifestyle. It's really truly living out your purpose.
Facts.
And I felt like God wanted me to do something a little bit different in the meantime. And so
it could have been good, it could have been right for somebody else. But for
me, that wasn't for what he was calling me to. And so I did that internship my junior year. We ended our season early because we didn't make it to a bowl game, and we had like a month and a half to be hanging out at the crib. So I was like, let me make the most of this time in this season. So those things have carried with me throughout my experience and throughout my time. And when I got done playing football at the University of Kansas, my first job was actually because I needed some income because the scholarly check was gone. And so since the scholarly check was gone, I needed to have some money. And so I met with
no more refund.
Yeah, no more, none of that. And so no tax, none of that.
Big difference.
Yeah, no Pell Grant, all money gone. And so I actually went and met with a woman who's actually, I call her sister now. Her name is Kara. Well, at the time, Kara Haley. It's now Kara Trimble. And she was director of career development with KU Leeds in KU Athletics. And I was actually the first football student athlete she ever worked with.
Wow.
And so she was like, well, let's look at some things on LinkedIn. Let's look at some on Indeed. I'm like, okay. And it was a job that I think paid between $200 and $500 a week. I was like, sign me up.
That's good money.
I can train for the NFL. I can, rehab. I can get my knee better and be setting myself for my career.
So you still were thinking, I
gotta be prepared for wherever, pivot, wherever God is going to take you. And so I went to the information that they have for the job because we didn't know what it was and never said what the title or the name or the role was. It was selling vacuums from Kirby. I get there, I'm like, I'm about to be selling vacuums.
The pivot.
Being a 4-year starter.
Come on, man.
Great on and off the field. From Oak Cliff.
Like signing autographs.
All these different things. And now I'm going to be selling vacuums.
Come on.
Man, it was miserable, but it's probably one of the best experiences I had graduating from college.
Miserable, but memorable.
I'm soliciting. I'm knocking on doors. I'm getting people kicking me out of their house, telling me don't knock on their door. And I'm like, God, why you have me experiencing this? And he said, you're going to remember this for the rest of your life because these are humble beginnings. Don't despise them.
Never despise them.
And so that has taken me so far from then because it allowed me to be hungry yet humble at the same time and hustling, just always having a heart to make it happen no matter what.
I like what you did there. I don't know if you caught that. 4 H's, all right? Hungry, but humble. Hustling.
And having that heart.
Having that heart.
Absolutely. I like it.
See what
I
we did there. Y'all pay attention.
Exactly.
I told y'all, you got to pay attention, man. And I had a similar experience in the car business, man. It was a lot of no's, and you're selling something you don't really believe in. I'm trying to convince myself. I'm mentoring families, though. And I really realized how many people don't realize how important their credit is, which we can talk about that a little bit later.
Exactly.
But those
no's. That's a whole other conversation. Those no's. It takes 99 no's. Get that. All you got to get that is one yes.
That's it. And Mark Cuban said with the right yes,
I learned that. I learned being no from my wife. So hey, that yes meant everything. So I'm like, hey, I don't mind being told no.
Yeah.
Get to that yes eventually.
Same here, man. Yeah. And I think it builds a scab over the wound to where you really can take whatever.
Take whatever. Yeah.
And so then when you get to sell a product you believe in, when you get to promote an opportunity or a nonprofit or a movement that you believe in, connect people that you believe need to be connected. It's so much easier because, like, I don't care if you say
you live in your purpose and you're making profit.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing.
That's the best paycheck. That's 3 Ps.
Exactly. I think a lot of times people miss out on the opportunity to live out the purpose and make profit. When you do those things, man, you're prospering. That's to me, it's a prosperous life that you want to live.
Turn your purpose into your paycheck.
Exactly. And so thankfully, like I said, KU Athletics, they offered me the opportunity, paid for my master's program, and that ended up turning into great opportunities to work at the University of Southern California. So I worked at USC in athletics. Was an academic. Yeah, go ahead.
Back up just a little bit, and then we'll get back to USC. But you a Bible study teacher during this time frame?
So when I gave my life to Christ. Yeah.
Okay, so you did get it right.
Yes. I gave my life to Christ back in 2012. I never forget. It was actually at K-State where my little cousin Michael was going to school.
Shout out Mike.
And so we were out there for a fake St. Patrick's Day, which is turned on a whole nother level. We ain't gonna get into that story.
We can't talk about that.
And so I'm just there, and I was feeling like I was dying on the inside. Wow. It was like I felt like spiritually I was dying.
Wow.
And then I got a call from my mom. I'm actually in line to go inside of a club with my best friend and actually founder and CEO of Camp Exposure, Tyler Patman.
Shout out to
We're in line, and we're getting ready to go inside the club, and my mom calls, and she's crying. I'm like, what's going on? Something happening in the crib?
Mama,
like, what's going on now?
I'm going to go turn up.
And she was like, exactly. And she goes, I just had a 2-hour dream that you died.
Oh my God!
And my mom doesn't have dreams at all. So if it's a dream, it's actually it's real.
Premonition.
And she was saying that she remembered what time it was before she went to sleep. She knew how long the dream was, and in a dream, I had died, and she was asking all of my best friends and close friends, what had happened to me and where my soul went. And she just remembered in my dream she didn't know if I went to heaven or hell. She was like, "Son, I don't know what you're doing right now," which I was caught up in some stuff I shouldn't have been doing. And she said, "I don't know what you're doing, but please just be careful and please just do what God is telling you to do right now." And at the time, he was telling me, like, don't go inside the club. But me, I'm stubborn, I'm headstrong, and I'm like, you know what, God, you got me. Just cover me a little bit, I'll be all right. And then I get inside the club, and I'm dancing on two young women.
Two same time. He's an overachiever, y'all. Just want to make sure y'all paying attention.
And so I just remember
Doublemint twins.
You silly, yeah, you crazy. I remember hearing the Lord just speak to me and just saying that this is not what I called you to. I've called you to be greater and give your life to me. So that happened, and gave my life to Christ in the club.
You're like, right now, Lord, really?
Yeah, it's a whole longer, so we could talk about it another time. But once that happened, I was like, I'm all in. Like, I'm not doing no more
partying,
no more none of that. I went cold turkey everything. Actually, I'm transparency. Stop smoking weed. I started, having sex. I went cold turkey everything, and didn't have sex until I, got married to my wife 3 years later. And so during that time,
that's part of why.
That's part of why the Bible study, because I was like, if I can do this and knowing my upbringing and background and people knowing how I lived and now going 180 and changing my whole life, I was like, I want to help put them on a path to where I'm at, because all of us are sinners. Everybody is, been saved by grace.
Fact.
We just need, people to mentor us, to pour into us, and have a community that allow us to walk this thing out the right way. Because we're not meant to do this alone. And if we was, God would have put us all on islands. So for me, it was like, I want to help put my boys, my partners, my teammates, so that way we can all become the men that God has called us to be. And so I taught a Bible study and
so you, like everybody who's around you, like, hey, I'm taking this serious. I'm all in. I'm teaching. Let's go. We learn together.
Exactly. And
that's
so
powerful,
I never forget it. It was with a number of guys, and two of them, one of them was my best friend, and another was Tyler Patman, who ended up giving his life to Christ. And now our nonprofit organization is faith-based. It's about helping them find their God-given identity beyond sports.
Wow.
And
so
using
Camp Exposure, y'all.
Yep.
So shout out, support, and so say that using. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you're fine. Just using your God-given talent, so that way, you're being successful both in life and in sports. Because sports is not the destination. It's the vehicle to your destination. And God has called you to great things. How do you use sports and leverage it so that way you can bring glory to God and also impact others?
Power influence. That's powerful, man. Solid, man. And shout out to Tyler Patman again, man.
Yes, sir.
Y'all doing great work.
Appreciate it.
Definitely linked with the right brothers.
It's a brotherhood.
Absolutely, man. And speaking of brotherhood, you stayed around for a few more years, getting your master's.
So I was at KU for 9 years, Bible studies. We did a number of great things in Lawrence, Kansas, and ended up getting offered to work at USC.
Okay.
So I went to USC.
That was a big change.
It was a big change, and it was a big opportunity. And so I actually never wanted to live in LA, but God was like, you're going to live where I tell you to live. And so went there, was academic advisor for women's basketball, men's and women's tennis, and rowing. Personal development coordinator, so life skills similar to what we're doing with Camp Exposure.
Okay.
Did that with the student athletes at USC.
So you felt like that was still in alignment.
Everything has always been in alignment, right?
Good.
And then I taught a class to the football team. And so, it was actually pretty dope.
What you mean?
So the football team was pretty much like life skills, holistic development, but specifically for USC football. So the guys
kind of what you're doing through Camp Exposure now.
Exactly. So
these are the roots of that.
Lots of roots, lots of things visionary wise that God has always given me, given Tyler, Hatch. So God brought us, the three of us together, And it's beautiful when your dreams all align and your visions align together.
Facts.
To fulfill a greater vision and a greater mission. So,
and that's usually how.
And it's great when it's your brothers. Yeah,
exactly.
It's really dope
because you don't have to recreate the wheel. And I used to think, I was like,
God,
you gave me too big a vision, and it's like, no, I gave all this to you so you could see. So when you connect with the right people, you know who's in line.
Exactly,
line before assignment.
Exactly, and I think it's better to do things with others sometimes. I always felt God tugging on my I feel like God, was tugging on my heart like to do something, but I felt like he didn't want me to do it alone. So when Tyler hit me up while I was at USC, like, hey, we'd love for you to be involved with what, I feel like I have an idea for, and, bringing Hash along and commodifying that, I was like, God, thank you so much for doing it because, I didn't want to do this by myself. So,
facts.
Yeah.
And of course, now that we're in 2023, you have something in the biblical meaning of the numbers of 23
for
the whole year.
I forgot about that.
Want to make sure the people understand what this year's supposed to be about. You don't like doing stuff by yourself.
It's very special. It signifies, I believe, what the Lord was telling me. I was praying, and the first thing I heard the Lord would say is that there's significance in the last two numbers, 2 and 3.
Yeah. So my significance was Jordan LeBron.
Right.
GOAT year. That's what I'm saying. It's gonna be great.
Sure. Yeah.
However, that might not be biblically aligned. So we need to let's get it right. Let's get it.
Okay, so the number 2 meaning unity, coming together, union.
Right.
The number 3 means completion. You think about the Holy Trinity and how divine it is. And then the numbers 23 together, you often think about Jordan and LeBron, right? Jordan being the greatest. But in terms of the number biblically, it means a group of individuals who have been called to a very special task and been reserved for the use of God for his glory. Wow. And so when you think about those numbers and what the year signifies, and the Lord told me that for this year, the scripture is Psalm 23.
Come on,
you think about that, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. You can go down. This is a beautiful scripture, right? And so bringing all those things together is that we get to live out Psalm 23 through partnering and working together in order to complete God's purpose for the special group of people that have been called to the plan that he has over our lives together.
Bars. Facts.
So
mic drop.
So this year is very special, and
it's a powerful year. Then,
for us connecting, and my business partner Gabrielle Curvin, who's here as well, and
shout out
a number of other individuals. So
holding it down.
These things, I think, is we need to really walk in authority and understanding that we've been called to this, and the more that we do it in partnership, both with God and with others, He's bringing to us. Because you just can't be out here trying to partner with anybody. You have to divinely align strategically with who God for what God is calling us to, so that way we can fulfill the greater purpose that's really bigger than any of us individually and together.
Yes, agreed indeed, man. Agreed indeed. Well said, man. So y'all take that, clip that, put that in your backpack and whatnot. And that's your notes right there for the year 2023. That's what it's about, man. Couldn't have said it better myself, man. So USC, you were there just like 2 years or so, right?
2 years, and then 2 years at ODU. At Old Dominion
what's
University.
ODU? Nobody know ODU.
ODU is Old Dominion University.
Not talking down.
I got there through a friend of mine. Like you said, connections is always beautiful. So I developed a great friendship with a guy named Lamar Pottinger. He's actually at the NCAA. He's a director. Making big things happen over there. And during the time, he was at ODU, but he got offered the senior associate athletic director role at Texas Tech. He said, "Look, I'm going to Lubbock. So I want to hit up Lubbock and see if you want to take my job here in Northern Virginia." I was just like, man, I got a good thing going on here at USC. I'm actually up for, potential, promotion and things like that.
And it's USC. You talking about
USC, but you talking about ODU.
Yeah, we don't know about
That's Pac-12 and Conference USA. But I was like, you know what, God, what should I do? The Lord put on my heart, said to do it. Wow. We moved. We had just had our daughter, 8 weeks, moved from LA all the way to the East Coast to Norfolk, Virginia.
Coast to coast.
Was there for a year and a half. COVID hits. So during
this time.
Yes. So COVID hits.
7 days a week you work.
Which is, and my wife and my mom can actually
attest
to this because they witnessed this. I never forget. I said, I felt like this is my last week working here at ODU.
Good Lord.
That Friday, that was on a Monday. That Friday is when everything hit the fan in the news about, hey, this virus and stuff going on, something like that. And I was like, God, you wasn't tripping. Like, you for real said this is my last week. And so COVID hit, and they had a $3.5 million budget cut. I was a part of that budget cut.
Yeah, a lot of people.
It's a number of people, right? So I experienced hardship, adversity, everything all at once, and had to move back to Dallas. Now, a lot of people don't know this. I'm going to be very
Had to or got to? It was
both.
It didn't feel like...
I didn't have a choice. The guy was like, you're going to do this. And so couldn't move anywhere, but we really believed that God was having us come back to Dallas. And actually, we was just come back to visit and then turned into moving back. And so during that time, the Lord was really just speaking up to my heart is that I'm getting ready to do something. You just got to trust me. And didn't really give me more detail
and it's tough.
than that.
Tough.
And I had to really hang on every word that God was speaking to me on and through his word, right? Yeah. And so we moved back we actually moved to Topeka for a little bit. Yeah. Because I was waiting for Oklahoma football to confirm me coming back.
Gotcha. So you thought I'm about to go to Oklahoma.
Yeah, so I'm thinking I was going to kind of give more context, I was interviewing, trying to find different opportunities.
Yeah.
OU hit me up, and I actually got the interview for their director of player development for football position.
Man.
And so I'm waiting.
Big opportunity.
Right, big opportunity, but they had a budget freeze. So I'm like, we can either move down to Dallas to Texas, or we can move over to Oklahoma, right? So this will give us some time to just kind of wait over.
Yeah.
But then my mom and my sister was like, just come down to Dallas, just come visit. And so came back to Dallas, visited for a bit, and nothing was happening. My connections at SMU wasn't popping, TCU, there was literally nothing out there.
So it's the first time in your life where your net worth was not your net worth.
Exactly.
First time ever for
my net worth was in God. And God was like, hey, right now, I'm reserving you for something greater. Wow. And so my sister said, hey, in the meantime, to what you actually want comes up, my school has a job. She worked at Kip Truth.
Shout out Kip, man.
Exactly. And so I was like, what's a job? I'm thinking it's a principal job or assistant, something to admin. She was like, it's a substitute. So I go from
the humility again, man.
Humility all over again. 4-year starter, master's, career opportunities, substitute teacher at Kip Truth. I'm like, God, what are you doing? So I prayed, I fasted. God showed. Go ahead.
Are you still waiting on the NFL at this time? Are you still training for the NFL at this time? Or
NFL was shot after the knee injury. It was more so, how do I close that chapter?
Yeah.
And so fast forward, ended up becoming a sub at the school. Yeah. And I was like, God, is this really what you want from me?
This can't be.
And I prayed and I fasted, and God was like, this is exactly what I'm calling you to. Show me a vision of when my godfather stepped in and helped me, reminded me of that, and then flipped the vision and showed me doing the same thing to a bunch of other kids that were going through worse things than me. And he said, what I'm getting ready to do is not about you. This is what I'm going to do through you.
Yeah,
and I promise you're going to be blessed. Yes, I'm going to take you through this. You're going to be blessed of it due to your obedience. But he said, son, just trust me. I'm going to blow you away. Did that job for literally did that job, the substitute job, for about 2 to 3 weeks. My sister told me, I kid you not, I gotta mention this. She said, you're gonna get promoted in 2 to 3 weeks. I said, 2 to 3 months, yes. 2 to 3 weeks, that's not happening.
Nothing capping.
She said, watch, I promise you. 2 to 3 weeks go by. Dallas IZ hits me up for a job opportunity that they had for a new department that they were creating. And so I'm like, this is it. Kill the interview. I already know I'm gonna get a call back. I go to school the next week. The principal for Kip was like, hey, I heard you killed that interview with Dallas IZ. And I'm like, how the heck she find this out?
It's like
and so she said, exactly, word of small. And then she said, I'm going to make this competitive. I'm going to match your salary, so it doubled. You're gonna get full benefits, full perks, all these things, right?
Good Lord.
And then she said that we're gonna make you 3rd grade lead math teacher. This happened in 2 to 3 weeks. My sister called it.
Wow.
Well, I believe my sister got a gift of prophecy because she called that one for sure.
You need to keep your sister close.
Exactly.
Close.
And so during that time of being a substitute, I'm at the school while I'm subbing, and I'm waiting for different classes to take care of. I'm praying like, God, give me ideas, different things I should do. He gave me the idea of creating my own fitness and consulting business.
Okay, so
had a friend of mine. That's where the fitness part came through with a friend of mine, Ron Hatch, Hatch's wife. Okay. We were at a wedding, and she said, I see all these people pulling up to your workouts. How much you charging? I was like, charging? I'm doing it for free. She said, boy, you crazy. You got a wife and a daughter. Boom. That was confirmation in my spirit, like, you need to do it. And so I created the fitness business. Then consulting, because when I was creating the LLC with the lawyer I worked on, he said that you need to make sure that you're setting your business set up for success. Yeah. I heard the Lord say, you're going to consult. I said, do you mind if I add consulting?
Include that.
Yeah. He said, no, that'd be perfect. fitness and consulting business came about.
Come on, man.
Co-founded Camp Exposure, solidified that even greater.
And then that being a nonprofit.
That being a nonprofit. And then one of my other best friends, Tarek Black, who was playing in the NBA, moved to Dallas. And so when he moved, I instantly heard the Lord say, you need to connect him and your best friend Jeremiah Hatch together because they're going to do great things in real estate together. And so I connect them like, hey, I feel like God's saying y'all need to connect. They connect that day. They created Builtin Realty Group. And then brought me in as partner and now,
director.
Yes. So
come on, man. And you wasn't doing it to...
I wasn't doing it to look for
your own opportunities. Like, I know y'all need to connect.
Obedient. Yeah, just being hearing the Lord and connecting two great friends together. And so now I've been brought in as chief strategy officer and director and, different things of that nature. And the whole thing from VISTA, because I know a lot of folks are like, how the heck did this happen?
That's exactly what we're going to talk about, like the Pivot podcast, man.
Yes.
This pivot was crucial.
Yeah.
It was crucial because everything on your resume does not necessarily qualify you to be banker, real estate, and all. Everything but God doesn't call.
He doesn't call to qualify.
He qualifies the call.
Yes, sir. You know that word.
That's it.
And so during that time of doing the fitness groups, I'm a routine person. Having played football, I live and die by routines. And so normally on a Saturday workout group, I go to Chick-fil-A in Oak Cliff off Wheeling, go home, eat, take a nap. And that's my routine on Saturdays. And this was back in 2020, like around December. And so on this particular Saturday, it was in December. I heard the Lord say, don't go to Chick-fil-A, go to Lucky's. And I'm like bro, what the heck is Lucky's?
You gonna throw off my hose?
Right, that's not the routine.
That's not what I do, man.
Exactly. And God is an habitual interrupter. God will like step in and interrupt your whole day.
Yeah, buddy.
And so he told me to go to Lucky's. And so I find out where Lucky's is 35 minutes away. I'm like, why would I go 35 minutes away? And Chick-fil-A is 3 minutes. No, it ain't happening. And so the Lord, I get a strong conviction from the Holy Spirit, like, you need to go. If not, you're going to miss something.
Woo!
And so I'm like, you know what? I ain't finna take no L on this. If nothing happens, then God, this is on you.
Yeah.
But if I don't go and something could have happened, that's on me. I can't afford that. So I go, order my food. I start talking to Will Baggett over the phone,
Come on, Will.
Which is so wild.
Will, you keep popping up.
I'm talking to Will over the phone. He like, bro, my bad. I didn't pull up to the workout group, but I may pull up on you, right now. Where you at? I said, I'm out to eat. He said, where you at? I was at Lucky's. He said, bro, you going out to eat by yourself? I said, well, I got a wife, a kid, a dog. I got all this stuff, jobs. I'm trying to do all this stuff. Like, bro, I need some me time. Sitting across from me was my CEO. I didn't know he was a CEO, but, white guy, he looked well put together. He got a hat. He don't look businessy, but you can tell he put together. There by himself.
Wow.
Just eavesdropping. I can see he peeping the conversation. And so I get done talking with Will over the phone. I bow my head, pray for my food. I look up. He's grinning ear to ear. He go, hey, my man, everything that you said on that phone call was very impressive. But the most impressive thing was that you took out time to pray for your food. That lets me know that you're a man of faith. You mind if I sit down and talk with you? And so I was like, yeah, pull up. And then that led to a conversation. I can go on long details on that, but it led to where I am today.
So your position is...
They ended up becoming a sponsor of Camp Exposure. I helped the bank get more involved in the community. And after our interview that me and the CEO had with NBC5, he said, man, I kill every interview I do. You dominated me the whole time. I'm creating a position for you at the bank. And so that was 2020. That was 2021. Wow. Started full-time January 2022. It's been a full year at the bank, and now we got some even bigger things.
Yeah, man.
I can't disclose.
Yeah. Drop what you can, man.
Do the confidentiality and time.
You got, for the sake of time.
For the sake of time and confidentiality. But hopefully here very soon, there's going to be some even bigger and greater things to come. Not just for myself, but for the entire community, for the city, for Texas. Yeah, hopefully for the world. That's what I'm aiming for.
That part, man. And we aiming to do that work right alongside you, brother. Because it's been powerful. And seeing the way you've connected people, the way you've gone out there and attacked the community's issues, man, with the right people, and doing what you did even for aligning your business partners now. You were just connecting them out of goodness of your heart, knowing it's the right thing to do.
Yes, sir.
This is what we try to do, mentor connectors, what we're aiming to do, Wealth and Influence Network. So it's like, there's so much alignment here, but I just want to give you flowers, man.
Appreciate it.
Because what you've done in a year, I've been doing this work since I got out the Air Force September 2014. And I haven't seen anybody out here killing like you did just last year alone.
Yeah.
So I already know where the Lord taking you, man, and definitely we're in alignment, man. You got my full support.
Appreciate
Team
it.
as well, man.
Yes,
but
sir.
Just proud of you, brother. Proud
Thank
of
you.
the example you setting as well, especially knowing more where you come from now. That's important.
It's more. There's story.
Just to see that.
There's story behind the success.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of times people miss out on that, and I never forget my roots and my foundation and my core values.
Facts.
And I never forget what allowed me to get to where I'm at, and it's all the Lord and others and the people that God has placed in my life to pour and invest into me, because I know that God has called me to pour and invest into others. So it's reciprocal. And that's the way that I build my friendships, my relationships. I don't look into them in terms of what you can do for me. Right. It's more so what can I do for you.
Yeah.
And as long as it's iron, sharpening iron,
yes, sir.
And we're looking at, we're looking to making it mutual. I think it's a beautiful thing that can happen for everyone involved. So that's my approach to how I do everything.
Absolutely. I can tell, man. Well, being in that Leaders of New School group, man.
Yeah.
It's exclusive, man.
Leaders of the New School is a great group. We're gonna keep it low key.
Keep it exclusive.
But at the same time, it's something that I believe that God put on my heart, because the more great people you bring together, building authentic, genuine, sincere relationships, but commodifying it, bringing action together, kind of like what we're doing right now, that allows greater things to come to fruition. And I want to build with other great leaders, thought leaders, people that's leading in business and community, in all sectors of industries and in life. And I think that what we're getting ready to embark upon, we're barely scratching the surface. So I'm excited to see what our friendships and relationships do.
Facts, man. Global movement, man.
Yes, sir. Global for sure.
So with that being said, man, I appreciate you. Thank you for your time. And
yes, sir.
I want to give you an opportunity. Let the people know how they can support you.
Where you can find me.
Yeah, where can you find
and support
Lubbock Smith III in these streets, man? I'm talking everything, though.
Okay.
Give them Camp Exposure, give them VISTA Bank.
For sure.
Let them know how they can connect with you.
So
man.
You can find me personally at Lubbock Smith on IG, on Instagram. You can also find me on Twitter at Lubbock Smith 1. Facebook, you can find me my name, Lubbock D. Smith III. LinkedIn, same thing. Find me my name, Lubbock D. Smith III. And for Vista Bank, at Vista Bank, you can find the website Camp Exposure at the Camp Exposure on Instagram. And then for Builtin Realty Group, we're pretty much found anytime. You can Google search us. So very, very honored and privileged to be on this podcast on Mentor Connector. You are the Mentor Connector, and I'm very blessed and fortunate for our friendship and the great things that come from it.
Same, brother. Feelings definitely mutual,
yes,
man. And you left out the keynote speaker part, man.
How
can we book you? How can we book you, brother?
Yeah, let's talk. We can talk later about the booking.
That part, man. But yeah, no. Thank you, seriously, man. Truly been an honor, man. Pleasure to hear. I know I've heard more of your story, but for you to share it like that, so the other people will understand.
This is just a tip of the iceberg. It's way more to it, but hopefully, if there's a part two, we'll see.
We're gonna get that part two in.
The more we can share.
Come on, man. The waves are the tip the iceberg over. That's what I'm saying, man. So y'all know it's not just the waves now.
Yeah.
All right. It's way.
And
more.
there's a thing that it's funny you brought a wave is that God has been saying something to me about vision wave.
Come on,
and it
man.
sounds real corny, but He's really been giving me vision, and the more He increases my capacity, the more I'm on a wave with Him. And I feel like a lot of us are on a wave together because we share the same vision that God has given us together. So it's fun, man. It's a fun ride.
Same wave.
Yes, sir.
Catch the wave, y'all.
Yeah.
It's a tidal wave over here. That's how we come, man.
Let's
I want
do
to
it.
thank you again to my brother, Lubbock Smith III, for coming through, man. Representing so well, man. Check out the work he's doing in the community. Support it. And make sure you connect, because he is definitely that connector that you need to know. Thank you for watching. Again, make sure you're following the Mentor Connector podcast on Instagram, Mentor Connector, on YouTube as well. Subscribe, like, and share. All right. Show some love. Follow King David Reeves and Firebrand Media as well on all socials. And just know, when you come February 28th, Tuesday night, to Wealth and Influence Network, we're going to be connecting like this. You're going to have some powerful brothers like Lubbock in the room, some powerful people, brothers and sisters, and we're going to be celebrating the close of Black History Month while we welcome the open of Women's History Month. So it's big, with some big winners, some of the biggest winners in the cities like Lubbock himself and others, man. And I'm excited.
And the leaders of the new school.
Come on, man. The leaders of the new school in the building, man. So we ain't gonna talk about whether or not Vista Bank gonna be in the building, man. We see he got to determine whether or not that's separate that or what not.
You can walk and chew gum at the same time.
That part. He gonna be here. So we thank y'all for tuning in, man. Please keep supporting and keep showing love, and that's why we're doing this, bring you the biggest and the best in the city, man, and celebrating their wins, because not just those who are pro athletes who are out here winning, man, Absolutely. Or in entertainment. So for King David Reeves, Mentor Connector Podcast, powered by Firebrand Media, Wealth and Influence Network, my brother Lubbock Smith III.
Appreciate it.
VISTA Bank, Camp Exposure, Builtin Realty. Come on, man. We appreciate y'all. Thank y'all. Love y'all. See you later.